This is 2 Minutes About Time with Luke Allen and Robert E.G. Black, the podcast that takes a look at the film About Time 2 minutes at a time. I am Richard Curtis, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you don't, well, you can just travel back in time 2 minutes and listen to something else.
I'm one of your hosts, Luke Allen. I'm joined, as always, with my co-host, Robert E.G. Black.
Hello.
And with our special guest for this week, Reece Ord.
Hello.
So, this Friday, we're looking at minute 65 of About Time. I don't know how we've got so far into the film. It's weird. It's like, I feel like we should know what we're doing this long into the run of the show.
Nah.
That's fine. But anyway, so, I mean, what month is this now? Like, listener-wise?
It should be August.
Okay.
August? You're that far in?
Yeah.
Oh, blooming hell. You're planning ahead, like, really well.
Well, yeah, like I say, we're recording minute 65. Our review of, like, minute 10 hasn't come out yet. So, yeah, we're...
Oh. I was thinking that, actually, when I was watching it last night. I'm like, okay, so 65, so they got quite far in then, if they're doing it tomorrow. I'm like, but they've only released 5, what's going on? And then you said about backtracking. I'm like...
Yeah, it's just because that way, if we end up having to miss, like, a while or anything comes up, then we've got loads to fall back on. But also, the annoyance with that, hence why I had to contact you so last minute about doing it today, was, like, I've sent all the minutes and all the scenes to the next probably 5 or 6 different guests we've got on. So if we ended up having to skip this episode, then I'd have to change the file I'd sent to all of them to, like, the previous one, and it was just gonna get... Yeah, so there's good and bad coming out of this, but mostly good.
Yeah, I was actually quite nervous because of little time, because normally, I guess stuff like this, I'd be able to do like my research and all that, but I really didn't, like, I was telling you yesterday about, like, being able to watch the film, listening to some of the podcasts and all that, and just try and get a feel for what it is and do a bit more research.
I was going to recommend to you that you listen to some of them, and then I thought, actually, the only one that's out is the one with the first guest we had on, and I was like, I don't want that to be... I mean, I think it went well, but I think we've got better since.
Yeah, but I was just quite nervous about doing it because of how... So it isn't bad, but it's put me out of my comfort zone, which is pretty good,
I find it weird. This recording is technically the second time I've actually spoken to you. Like, that feels weird.
Yeah, it is. Like, actually, like, voice... Yeah, because usually if they ever contacted you, it's been over text. But yeah, this is the second time we've ever actually talked.
I mean, I guess we spoke for quite a while on Hood, because it was from quite early in the morning to quite late in the evening.
It was practically like 8 hours. It's like 6-7 hours of just us talking. So, to be fair, it's like, we knew each other fairly well for a first meeting.
It was good. And we have talked before about, like, needing to work on a project together, because, like, and we'll talk today, later this episode, I'm sure, about Connor. And, like, I'm really impressed with some of the stuff you went through with that, and we'll talk more about that at the end of this episode. So, we open this minute with the mum saying, hello, and Tim saying, Mum, this is Mary. Mary, hi. She says, oh, you're pretty. No, it's just that I've got a lot of mascara on and lipstick on. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, yes. Good. It's very bad for a girl to be too pretty. It stops her developing a sense of humour or a personality. Tea? And then Mary says, I'd love a cup of tea. And I mean, even this exchange is brilliant.
Yeah, I keep saying this about the exchanges, but this is maybe one of the best exchanges in the film, I think. Like, between these two. I think this is the only time they actually talk, isn't it? Like,
quite possibly.
Yeah.
Other than the bit after we're on the beach.
But I think the best conversation in this film is the one at the start with him and his dad talking about time travel. If it's true, which it isn't, which it is. Yes. It isn't, but if it's true, which is not. That whole thing.
But with this one, it's like how open they are. So again, it makes you think, has he done this before? Like, has he been through this conversation before and time traveled to sort of maybe fix it? Like maybe something went wrong, but No, I don't know what I'm saying now. That was just...
With them both being called Mary, I heard that when the trailer for the film first came out, a lot of people were theorising that the main plot twist of the film was going to be that Tim was his own dad.
What? Oh, that would be weird, that would. How would that work?
I don't know. Apparently people, because they were both called Mary, would have been... Yeah.
Okay. So people thought that Tim was Tim's dad.
Yes. I'm pretty sure that's what I heard, yeah.
So Tim was somehow magically born, or is this just like a massive time loop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if it always happened...
Met his mum... Oh no, I'm not even carrying on with that sentence. I'm not even carrying on with that sentence.
I think the theory is that Lindsay Duncan's Mary is Rachel McAdams' Mary.
Oh.
Because you can't have two people called Mary in the same film.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So somehow she turns English. We'll ignore that bit.
How would that work though? If Mary was in two places at once, but because Mary can't time travel unless he knew about... Wow. So he's dating his mum.
No, I think...
Oh, is James? James is the dad's name, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm just laughing because I hadn't watched the commentary properly when I was doing it earlier, so I'm a bit behind. And I just clicked play on the commentary for a second with the subtitles on, and they're still talking about Martin Scorsese, and Richard Curtis is saying how influenced he is by Martin Scorsese. And Donald Gleason says at the proposal scene, "You can see here that I'm acting the same way that Martin Scorsese acts."
What were we talking about? Yeah.
Mary being Mary.
Mary being Mary. So that would
There's
mean
today's
that
title.
That would mean that Tim... Is it Tim? It's Tim, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So that means Tim is dating his mum. Unless, is James meant to be him? His dad is meant to be him.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird.
That is weird.
It's close to Back to the Future territory. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was what a weird theory. That's quite interesting.
I think the people who have theorised that, they must not really have known Richard Curtis.
Yeah.
Like, there are two other time travel things Richard Curtis has done, and that is Blackadder Back and Forth, the Blackadder finale from 1999, and the Doctor Who episode Vincent and the Doctor.
Mary, so that's actually pretty funny though. So Batman and Superman must be brothers, because both their parents are named Martha. Is that how that works?
Yep.
Damn. So that's basically the same concept as that of that theory. They're both named Mary, so that must be her. Superman and Batman's mother's name's Martha, so they're brothers.
Maybe they're the same person. You know, we can't rule that out.
Marthas, yeah, do you know what I mean? It's a weird theory. I never would have thought of that. I'm pretty close-minded. But, yeah. So yeah, the exchange though, the exchange is pretty cool.
So when Mary says, "I'd love a cup of tea," Tim goes, "Oh, that's the whole day gone."
Everyone's probably been through something like that, where they're like, well, okay, that's it. When your parents go to their friend's house, and you go with them, and they keep getting another coffee, they keep getting another drink.
It's my mum and my grandparents' house, to be honest.
Or when you go to the shop and your mum starts talking to a friend and you're like, okay, we're gonna be here forever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they start talking to whoever.
So, Robert, the next line in your notes is slightly faded.
Yes, because I am not sure what he says.
Okay, that makes sense. So, I can't even see on my computer what
are you getting sauce? They're handing out cups and the dad says something that sounds sort of like that, and I'm like, I don't know.
Hang on, I'm going to listen now. Just a second. Oh, hang on, why is it so quiet? I'm not going to listen now because I can't hear a word of it.
Give me a second. I'm going to see if I can figure out what they're saying.
It does sound like that, or is it? Hang on, it might be about the saucer. It's like, are you having a saucer?
Maybe.
I think it's just meant to be inaudible, isn't it? Inaudible.
Right.
But yeah, just as like a thing, this just is, I think this bit's just to show like the relationship, isn't it? Like, really what the similarities between the parents.
So he says she's a very special guest. Cup without the crack, and then skimming stones. Oh yeah, they've been doing this since he was about this high. And what are your faults? I mean, little weaknesses. Well, I'm very insecure. Sweet. Well, I have a very bad temper sometimes. Crucial. How else are you going to get a fella to do what you want? It is a lovely exchange.
Yeah. I think a lot of these are just to show a relationship, isn't it? Now, obviously, it's like it's the genre's romance, and you need to find a way to get the audience attached to characters, don't you? So I guess this is the way of doing that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm just talking gibberish now, or I think I've been doing that the whole time, but it's just like, and I keep saying this about like showing the relationship between each character. It's just like, quite important.
It is for a movie about relationships. Like, this is a film about love, but not just like, husband and wife love. It's father and son love, and family love, and friendship love, and I think it's brilliant. What bonus minute did we send you, Reece? Because
when they're talking about prostitutes in the cafe, not long after they met.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, like the whole romance thing is it's actually quite hard to write romance. You'd think it's quite easy, but it's not. For my final major project at college, I ended up having to do like a romantic scene, I guess. I was doing a wedding scene, and the whole point of the romance section of it was to get people attached to the characters, which is, I guess, the whole point in showing the relationship.
Yeah,
because with mine, the male character, he dies pretty much straight away, quite quick. I needed to find a way to get people attached to them characters, so it's quite difficult.
So we're going to have to briefly scan and skim as quickly as we can through that scene, the bonus minute. So whereas we normally give it a lot more attention, because of the time, we've got a lot less. Basically, just what are your overall thoughts of that bonus scene about the prostitutes in the cafe?
I think I keep saying this, but it's a really good way of showing the relationship. I'm just repeating myself now, but it's showing the progression of them. It shows the kind of conversations they have, how comfortable they are with each other, I guess. Because there's a bit where they start not they're having they're joking and they're talking over each other at one point and joking about how does she like reading like a menu or something and not getting paid for it, and how he sort of whether he worries about whether prostitutes enjoy sex because they're not at work. I think that just shows how comfortable they are, I guess. I feel like I'm writing an essay.
Just
trying to fill in the word count.
in the shortest way possible, and I hate that I'm doing this, to the listeners, it's getting really late here, so we're not just rushing Reece for any hurtful reason. We're just here for the sake of time. If you could go back in time to any point in your life, Reece, to either relive it or change something about it, what moment of your life would that be?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. Not too sure, because everything that I've done has led me to where I am and is still leading me on the path and journey that I am on. So I don't know whether I would change a lot, but I think if anyone could change anything, it would be to save someone, wouldn't it? Like a family member or something. Like if you could have gone back and said something to a family member or warned them about something that's going to happen or health problems, you'd do that, wouldn't you? You'd try and warn someone. But I guess then that leads to the whole butterfly effect and things going wrong later on, because maybe there's the fact that happens is why you want to do what you want to do. But yeah, I think other than that, I wouldn't really I don't think I'll change a lot, you know.
These answers are getting more and more serious every week. It's great. They started joking with the first few guests, and then from like the past 3 weeks, we're getting like good, thought through, serious answers. It's great. So, like, as a slightly extended but still brief social media find you thing, one of your films, which I mentioned earlier, I mean, I don't know if this is the one you want to promote, but it's the one I've seen, Connor, which stars Adam Collins and Helen Austin, who we had on last week, is, you know, it's a good sized short film that you can just, you know, sit and watch it easily in one sitting, and it tells a really great story. And looking at the photos and stuff that you posted on your website as to how, like, you put the whole thing together, especially the effects in that opening sequence, it's really well made, and I recommend that our listeners check that out.
That was made with a zero budget. That I think I spent a bit of money to make like a squib, so blood would like splat out, but then I just didn't end up using it. So technically, that on everything you see in there was no budget, and it was done off.
Well, to the same extent that Unstable was no budget, except that we like bought a pack of Rizzlers and some oregano for him rolling a joint at the start of the film. Yeah. But other than that, yeah it's like, you can always build up a budget when you think of how much the actors paid themselves to get to location.
Yeah, there's always something that you can think about, like, oh, the pan that I stored the fake blood in, that cost something months ago, like whenever we bought it. But I guess if you just like things that you have around, like in the starting sequence, that the explosion bit.
Yeah.
That was done. I don't know whether to say it or not, how it was done. Whether it would ruin okay. So that was done, with a piece of tarp that I had.
Just threw dirt on them.
And just chucked dirt on the tarp. Got my sister and a friend to pull it when I, like, said, and it would look like, you know, an explosion. Like, pull the tarp, the dirt comes flying, and it looks like an explosion.
It looks really good.
Yeah, thanks. But I enjoyed making it. It was like my first actual short film. Like, I've made a few. I've made a documentary, a music video, an advert, lifestyle show. Like, a lot of it is with college. And
yeah,
I was actually meant to make the other one, which I mentioned earlier. There was meant to be that one, but with everything going on at the moment, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
So they can find Connor on your YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure if you just search Connor short film, it's probably there. Or Connor Reece Ord, or, you know, they'll find it somehow.
YouTube channel is just Reece Ord.
Can you remind the listeners of all your social media plugs?
Oh, okay, so yeah. So my Facebook is Reece Ord. Instagram is Reece.o_02, and my Twitter is @Ord_Reece. The profile picture is someone in a suit with glasses and looking quite stupid with their tongue sticking out. I said this before, I'm going to have to change that profile picture because it's quite stupid looking. But yeah, I'm going to post more on it hopefully soon once I get more work done.
And Robert, where can the listeners find you?
Lemmingdrops.com, Robert E.G. Black on social media.
And listeners can find me on Twitter @llama_bottle0, on Instagram @thegingerluke, Facebook Luke Allen Film, all podcasts, short films, radio appearances, newspaper articles, anything I'm remotely involved in is most likely to be at lukeallen.co.uk. If it's not, they can drop me an email at luke@lukeallen.co.uk. And this show is on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram @2minsaboutTime. They can join our Facebook group, The Cupboard, to discuss all things about time and other stuff surrounding this podcast. And I'll end it with another interesting goodbye. Once again, party easy, drive safe, and return with a smile on your face.
Party easy. What was it? Party easy.
Party easy, drive safe,
and
return with a smile
on your face.
That's one of our nicer ones. The 2 Minutes About Time theme is performed by Ethan O'Mahony and is a cover of the About Time theme originally composed by Nick Laird-Close. 2 Minutes About Time is a production of Lemming Drop Studios in association with Bottle O Productions.